Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. This was certainly not a video that I was planning on making today, but lo and behold, here we are, and honestly, I could not be more excited, because good grief, we just got an absolute ton of information on Season 4 of Modern Warfare, what's to come there in terms of some of the content, what's to come for Warzone in the near future, and also the more distant future as well, and then some. And you already know, we're covering it all here today. So if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new to the channel, we are always covering the latest news, intel, updates, leaks, pretty much anything regarding Call of Duty, you're gonna find it right here. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on to stay up to date with all of that stuff. Also, the limited time Twitch drops are still active, but only until Wednesday morning. So if you do want to earn any of those, all you need to do is watch streams with drops enabled, like mine, which is linked down below if you want to check that out. Anyways, I honestly don't even know where to start on this, because really it is just news on news on news, and all of it is pretty interesting as well as exciting. But I guess we'll start with the near future updates for Warzone and Modern Warfare in general. As I'm sure you guys probably know, Season 3 is about halfway over right now. Currently, according to the countdown timer on the Season 3 Battle Pass, this season will be coming to a close on June 2nd. Then Season 4 will be starting on the same day. So as you'll see, the Season 4 launch is going to be a very important time because we're going to have a lot of stuff going on there. So the initial news here stems from an interview that Taylor Kurosaki did with GamerGen. And basically, this entire piece is just a massive info drop. It starts with Kurosaki saying that the storyline of Modern Warfare is going to continue in Season 4 with new people dropping in to join the fight. And right away, this essentially confirms that we're going to have even more operators coming to the game in Season 4. Now this was kind of a given already, we assumed it was going to happen regardless, but this is in fact a solidified confirmation on that. He also says that there's going to be a lot of mysteries and clues unlocked in Season 4 too, by saying, players have already discovered that there is a whole other part of Verdansk that they haven't seen yet. They've found clues in that there is more than meets the eye in the city. Season 4 will unravel some of those mysteries and unlock some of them for the players. As the battle in Verdansk wages on, things are going to grow even more desperate. There are going to be more and more fighters sent in to turn the tide, and we are very excited to get our players to see and join alongside these great warriors as they continue to fight. So kind of a long-winded confirmation of even more operators coming to the game, but this also confirms that the major Easter egg, presumably tying in with the bunkers and the phones and all that stuff, is really going to come to a peak in Season 4. Now, Amos Hodge, who is the creative director for Raven Software, also took part in this interview as well, and he gave us some pretty interesting information on some other stuff coming to Warzone specifically. Here he says, on the gameplay stuff, I can tell you there will definitely be new modes. We are constantly working on modes. So new modes will be releasing, and we're also working on new content. New items in-game that you can put into your loadout. There will be new items to find in Battle Royale and Plunger that aren't in your loadout to add to gameplay and to the looting too. There will be new field upgrades, for example, so we're working on field upgrades, new modes, new loot in general that you can get in your loadout to add some new spice to the game. And of course, if you caught some of the videos from earlier on this week, we actually talked about the various leaked modes like Mo Gulag, Mo Problems, Duos, One Shot, and Stimulus, and then some. And yeah, Duos. We've got more info on that coming up here momentarily. But for now, in this initial discussion, Taylor Kurosaki also added that big events are coming. But his description is a little confusing, I guess you could say. So when asked if the events were going to be like Fortnite's, he says, I wouldn't say they are Fortnite-like events, because Fortnite is such a different type of game. With Fortnite, you know that the world is ever-changing and ever-evolving so much, you kind of don't want to go away from it in case you might miss something. And that is the same thing with Warzone. In terms of story, we've been setting up this narrative for a while. It's important to note that this world is not unlike the world that we live in. The factions mimic the real world and its superpowers, their allegiances, rivalries, and the big what if is that those allegiances have now been broken down. and now someone is pulling the strings behind the scenes, and we need to figure out what exactly is going on. So honestly, I can't tell if that means we are going to have a live in-game event, that takes place like right before our very eyes on the map itself, or if it is just simply going to be a cinematic, like what we see with the various season intros whenever a new season goes live. To me, the former would be like a Fortnite event, and of course, Taylor says they're not necessarily that. So really, this just makes me even more eager to see what is going to happen here in Season 4. However, that is really only the beginning for this info drop. As I said, that is the start of the near future updates, but we have even more things coming both soon and later on as well, that we'll get to as we progress throughout the video. Now, Taylor and Amos were also asked about the playlist for Warzone right now, and to this they responded by saying, "We are trying to run this like its own product. In the main game, they are constantly rotating modes in and out, and we're trying to find our footing on that too. What the core modes are and what we can rotate in and out. We want to keep players engaged, but we also don't want it to get stale. And at the same time, we can't have 10 or 15 playlists because people will start to have bad connections. And that is a super important thing to note right there." Now, this portion of the interview also confirms that duos is in fact coming, but we don't really get an exact time frame on it. So Amos says, "We've had duos on Plunder, but I'm not really sure where regular duos is. We've got some bugs to work out with it, but we are listening. Eventually we are going to get to a place where duos is in there too. There's just no exact time I can give you as of now, but duos is coming when the time is right." Of course, we all know that duos is probably the #1 most requested feature in all of Warzone. However, for the time being, it is just a distant dream, I guess. But at the very least, it is now 100% officially, publicly confirmed to be coming soon. Now, as we move into the more distant future, things are still just as exciting for Warzone, as this interview also confirms that Warzone is going to long outlive the standard game of Modern Warfare, and that longevity starts with support for the next generation of consoles. We know that the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, honestly still don't know who decided on that name, the next-gen consoles are going to be releasing this holiday season. And Taylor Kurosaki says that their plan is to have Warzone around for quite some time, and that when those new systems are available, they are going to support Warzone on those as well. So this now raises a few different series of questions. Will the entire Modern Warfare game release, or I guess re-release, on the next generation consoles? Will Warzone release on the next-gen consoles as sort of a standalone thing? Or is Warzone just going to transfer to Call of Duty 2020, which, as we know, is rumored to be Call of Duty Vietnam or Black Ops Vietnam, something along those lines? And it just so happens we might actually have an answer for that, because to wrap up this interview, Amos and Taylor were asked about what the long-term goals are for Warzone, and the answer here is very, very interesting. So Taylor says, "We are kind of in uncharted territories here. Call of Duty has been on a very regular release for many, many years, and Warzone has made us rethink how exactly to best release new content and also how to integrate it. Call of Duty is a genre in itself. There are different branches in the Call of Duty tree, but they are all connected in some way. Warzone will be the through line that connects all of the different various sub-franchises of Call of Duty." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the official confirmation that Warzone is going to be included in the future Call of Duty titles and expand well past the end of Modern Warfare when COD 2020 ends up releasing later this year, obviously pending any delays. So yeah, when it comes to intel, this interview brought all of it, literally just all of the intel right here. That was a ton of information there, and the future for Warzone and Modern Warfare looks pretty exciting to say the least. Anyways, with all of that being said, that is effectively what we just learned about the Season 4 content planned for Warzone and Modern Warfare, and the future of Warzone as well. And that's going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date with the latest Call of Duty news, intel, updates, leaks, and everything in between, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I upload a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL on all Scuff, G Fuel, Control Freak, and Respawn products. All of those links can be found in the description below. And once again, thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.